Some drivers make bad choices, others make career-defining bad choices. On April 20th, 2024, David Arrington was about to lock in his spot in the second category. Georgia State Patrol Trooper Kirby spotted him in Baldwin County, drifting off the road. Like Sunday steering wasn't his thing, but the moment the blue lights flashed, the mood and the stakes changed instantly.
Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! This has got to end. I can't let him back on the roadway.
Arrington was pulled from the wreck, still smelling of alcohol, and later found with suspected cocaine in his pocket. He refused to give a blood sample and added resisting behavior to his growing list of problems. This chase was proof that some people aren't just running from the law, they're running from reality. March 7th, 2024 started as a routine collaboration between the Georgia State Patrol Crime Suppression Unit and Atlanta Police. They were on the lookout for a white Ford Fusion tied to a recent vehicle theft with ground units and the Phoenix helicopter scanning the city. When the car was spotted in a West Atlanta parking lot, things seemed calm enough until the driver decided compliance was off the table. The moment the emergency lights flicked on, the peaceful afternoon turned into a high-stakes gamble on city streets.
Right on the merchant, right on the merchant. Clear right on merchant. Coming up to I-20, going I-20. Clear 20, going on I-20. Get on eastbound to 20, on the 20. Clear eastbound to 20. It's good. Clear on pit. Another pit.
Baylor! Baylor!
The driver was later identified as Juwan Jackson, and his run from the law didn't stop when the car did he bolted on foot, making a break through brush fences and train tracks. Even K9 Loco got a piece of the action before Jackson was finally cornered and taken into custody. He was charged with reckless driving, felony fleeing obstruction, and driving on a suspended license on top of existing warrants. Sometimes the fastest way to lose everything is to think you can outrun everyone. David Rourke probably thought he was invincible on September 29, 2023. 4 different drivers had already called him in reckless speeds, cutting people off and even flipping them the bird. To some, it looked like a man high on adrenaline, or maybe something stronger just begging for disaster. When troopers finally found him, his luck had already run out.
21, first E2, and you guys are waiting to take the GPS in Baldwin County. Italy on that. First E2.
Trying to help me out, and get him stopped.
rider was identified as David Rourke, and the trouble only deepened from there. Officers found a Smith & Wesson pistol tucked into his waistband, and Rourke admitted to taking drugs earlier in the day. Disoriented, rambling, and clearly not in control of himself, he was rushed to Christus St. Michael's Hospital, claiming a fractured neck. Another grim reminder, reckless bravado on two wheels can turn into a nightmare in seconds.
Okay, roll over. Or correction, you got him pitted out. Pitted out.
Trooper Matthew Price had seen plenty behind the wheel of his Arkansas State Police cruiser, but on September 14th, 2023, he was about to meet a driver who made a very poor introduction. The man behind the wheel of a black rental Silverado had every chance to pull over like a sensible human being. Instead, he chose to gamble, and the stakes shot up the moment his foot buried the accelerator. It was a choice that would turn a calm evening into a test of skill, patience, and horsepower.
The truck has driver's side damage now from my pit.
10-4, driver's side damage.
He's passing somebody on the right shoulder.
10-4, passing the right shoulder.
Speed 62. I need a charger up here. This guy's got too much takeoff from get-go. Come on, 21. Keep your speed up. All right, we're coming up to the Little Mulberry. Speed's still 100.
10-4, Little Mulberry, speed 100.
We got to get him in this right here, 21.
The road ahead narrowed in more ways than one. The suspect's run was running out of road, and the law was closing in with precision that left little room for another escape.
10-4, speed 100 past Little Mulberry.
Okay, roll over. Or correction, you got him pitted out. Pitted out.
10-4, fit it out, Little Mulberry.
Get your hands up! Get your fucking hands up!
When the pursuit finally ended, the truck was boxed in by multiple cruisers. The driver, claiming to be Robert Regal, stepped out alongside his passenger, identified as Shaffer Smith, and a pregnant woman seated in the back. Troopers suspected the driver had lied about his name, while the woman insisted she had only just met the pair in Dallas. She also admitted to having marijuana on her. All told, it was a high-speed detour that left them headed not to their destination, but to a holding cell. It was the evening rush on September 27, 2023, and Interstate 30 was crawling with commuters trying to get home. Trooper Killian had just settled into patrol when a white Hyundai Elantra caught his eye. The way it slowed almost to a crawl, then slid from lane to lane without reason, stood out like a sore thumb in the flow of traffic. By the time it took the 65th Street exit, the trooper knew this wasn't going to be a routine stop.
Show me your hands. 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 Step out of the car. Step out of the car. Get on your face. Turn away from me. Get off the phone. Felony takedown.
I love felony takedown. What's your big warning?
I'm sorry. Stand by on that. 3700 West 65th.
That driver was soon identified as Tavio Jones, who openly admitted to carrying marijuana and a gun. Inside the car, officers found more marijuana, a set of digital scales, and a Beretta pistol sitting in the driver's seat. He was transported from the hospital to the county jail, booked on charges ranging from fleeing to firearms possession. In the end, the chase that could have endangered countless others only landed him deeper in trouble. That wraps up this pursuit, but trust me, the story doesn't end here. Click on the next video to see another chase that takes things to a whole new level. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss one. It was July 8th, 2025, and traffic on Interstate 75 rolled steady through Lee County, Florida. But for Trooper Jonathan Hernandez, the routine snapped the moment he spotted a silver Chevy Silverado blasting past at near triple-digit speeds. The truck wove carelessly through lanes, barely avoiding a slower pickup hauling a trailer. Lights flashed, sirens wailed, and what should have been a simple stop instantly escalated into a full-blown pursuit. When the dust finally settled, the driver was identified as Kevin Donald Reardon II, and the truth behind his reckless choices came spilling out. Officers found empty bottles of liquor, more bottles still sealed marijuana drug paraphernalia, and prescription pills inside his truck. His blood alcohol level registered at 0.152, and hospital staff later uncovered a shocking detail: a bottle of pills hidden inside his body. He was cleared medically before being taken to the Charlotte County Jail. A reminder once again that mixing alcohol, drugs, and a steering wheel is a cocktail that never ends well. Texarkana on October the 2nd, 2024. Arkansas State Police joined local officers searching for a stolen vehicle tied to a teenager awaiting trial for a high-profile murder case. Troopers located the car traveling north before the driver accelerated onto Interstate 30. Within seconds, the situation escalated into a full pursuit at high speed.
26. I believe that tires will be stolen. I'm behind it on Jefferson northbound right now. We got to look it up currently. It's going to be Arkansas 995 Union David Edward 995 UDE. We're going to be turning, looks like to get on 30. I am going to be 1037 with it. Yeah, we're going 30 eastbound, 30 eastbound. You can't go to the bus supervisor. Passing on the right shoulder and traffic. Speed's about 90. Traffic's pretty heavy.
The RP on the phone advised are going towards I-30 now.
out. They're about to crash out. We're about to 6. They kept it on the road, still eastbound, 9 mile an hour. Gotta wait for this traffic to clear up. I'll try to get TV out. They're passing on the left inside shoulder. They're about to wreck out right here. Looks like. Yep. Yep, they're wrecking out in the median. Roll over, roll over. All right.
Driver, show me your motherfucking hands! Hey, show me your hands! Get on the ground right now! I ain't playing with you. Is there anybody else with you? Alright, roll over on your stomach. On your stomach. What the f*** are you thinking? Huh?
Are you trying to kill me?
What the f*** are you thinking?
Trying to kill me?
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. You stupid? Don't you f***ing move a muscle, you understand? I will tase the hell out of you.
Sure.
Troopers pulled the 17-year-old driver from the overturned vehicle before transporting him for medical clearance. He was later taken to a juvenile facility and now faces felony theft, fleeing, and a reinstated bond related to his earlier murder charge. A judge added another $250,000 bond after the chase. On March 22, 2024, when a Troop C patrol car spotted something that didn't fit the picture, a white Honda SUV barreling down the highway with its high beams flashing and wipers flailing despite crystal clear skies. To the Florida Highway Patrol trooper behind the wheel, the erratic behavior could only mean one thing: the driver wasn't sober.
Exiting on marker 314, exiting on marker 314. Tempo water, traffic conditions at this time. Light traffic, signal 415, light traffic, signal 415. Stop on. Moving up the exit in the northbound on the southbound, what direction? Tempo eastbound 48, let's signal 415, eastbound 48, 75. Vehicle pitted. Pit the vehicle pitted. More vehicles overturned. We're getting EMS 51.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
26 on the first sheet. Can you get a sergeant at 51? You have a lieutenant at 1051 as well?
40-851, would you like me to advise 165?
Seats. Tractor supply.
Come on.
Okay.
Have a seat.
Tomorrow?
Right now.
Why, man? It's so dirty in here.
Around and you get back in, that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Put your feet in. Put your feet in.
I like indica.
Put your feet in.
I like indica every day. Oh yeah.
On the evening of November 15th, 2025, Sharp County authorities received word of a...
I'm gonna have to stop it when I get back out the road here. Pull her out of there, John.
I can do it myself, thank you.
You keep your hands where I can see them.
No, I will not. Don't you touch me.
You keep your hands where I see them.
I didn't do anything to you.
Come here. Come here. Yeah, those bare hands in the floor.
Whatever.
Come on. Come here. Come here.
I didn't do nothing
Come
to you
here.
people.
Come here.
No. I'm not from here. I want my attorney.
You got cover on her, John? Huh?
No.
You got cover on her? Yeah, I'm covered. I got her covered.
Don't touch me. I don't know you, freak.
You gonna come out? I told you wasn't gonna like it.
I didn't do anything.
Turn around. Turn over. Turn over. Roll over.
I am.
I'm tired of your stupid crap. Roll over, put your hands behind your back. Now!
After several attempts to end the chase, troopers performed a tactical intervention that caused the van to overturn. The driver, identified as Lakin, resisted orders but was subdued using a taser and taken into custody. A search of the van uncovered methamphetamine, marijuana paraphernalia, and an open container of beer. Lakin was transported to the Lawrence County Jail, facing numerous drug-related and fleeing charges. At 1 a.m. on December 31, 2021, Trooper First Class Zachary Walker waited at a red light in Savannah, Georgia. As he watched traffic flow across Durango Avenue, a black Lexus ignored the signal and blew through the intersection. Walker pulled out to follow, but the Lexus didn't just speed up. It launched into a reckless flight that turned an ordinary stop into a dangerous pursuit.
1050, roll over 1050 with a pedestrian, roll over.
The driver was identified as Jackery Rivers, who crawled from the wreckage and was swiftly taken into custody. Inside the car and on his person, troopers found over $20,000 in cash and a loaded Glock 31 with an extended magazine, a dangerous find for a man already convicted as a felon. What began as a reckless run from a traffic stop ended in shattered steel flashing lights, and a reminder that bad decisions often come full circle. On December 19, 2023, just before noon, a drug task force operation in West Memphis turned into a deadly high-speed pursuit. Arkansas State Police troopers joined the chase as the suspect fled east on Interstate 40 at nearly 140 miles per hour. The man behind the wheel was wanted on multiple felony warrants and showed no concern for the lives around him. The chase came to a tragic end near the 284-mile marker when the suspect abruptly hit his brakes, colliding with the pursuing patrol car. His vehicle left the roadway and came to rest down an embankment. Colonel Mike Hagar later stated that while the loss of life was regrettable, the suspect's reckless driving posed an extreme threat to innocent motorists, and troopers were thankful no one else was harmed. Tuesday, February 21st, 2023, when a black Dodge Charger decided to make Interstate 40 its personal racetrack. Conway police were the first to respond, but it didn't take long for the Arkansas State Police to step in. As the chase headed toward Crystal Hill, one trooper took the lead, but just as things were heating up, unexpected technical issues threw a wrench in the game plan. That moment marked a shift, and with speeds climbing and risks multiplying, the pressure was on to take control fast.
We're going to be taking JFK. Taking JFK.
Once the vehicle was disabled, the driver, later identified as Corey Simmons, bolted on foot, likely thinking he could outpace the law one last time. That sprint didn't last long. A brief struggle followed, ending only after a single well-placed strike convinced Simmons to give up the fight. Let this be a reminder: no amount of horsepower can outrun a bad decision.
Just jump the median, oncoming traffic. Signal 4, signal 4, signal 4.
It was November 22nd, 2023, when what started as a call about shoplifters at a Kohl's in Yulee, Florida, spiraled into something far more sinister. Deputies expected to deal with stolen merchandise, maybe a quick arrest in the parking lot. But the suspects behind the wheel of a Nissan sedan had other plans that would test both patience and survival instincts. With flashing lights filling the night, one officer soon realized he wasn't just chasing thieves. He was staring down something much more dangerous.
On a 3264 India Papa.
Let me see everybody's hands right now!
The fallout was devastating. Sierra Desiree Fawcett, just driving her own route that evening, ended up in a hospital bed with serious injuries. Inside the suspect vehicle, deputies uncovered stolen merchandise worth nearly $2,000 and narcotics tucked away like an afterthought. The four suspects were all arrested, their night ending not in escape, but in flashing lights and hospital gurneys. A stark reminder that running from the law rarely gets you anywhere, but deeper in trouble. On July 9th, 2023, the sun was beginning to dip over Polk County, Florida, when Trooper Alfred Williams noticed something suspicious on University Boulevard. A white BMW and a blue Dodge Charger weren't just cruising, they were practically baiting each other. First crawling, then surging forward, their engines told a story that every trooper knows too well. Two drivers gambling with speed and common sense. With one flick of the switch, Trooper Williams lit up his patrol car to bring it all to a halt. But that's when the real trouble started.
Got a visual. Right up home. Still taking off on the way. He's gone out, he was in the red. You almost signal forward. He's signal forward. Signal forward. We're in the ditch. He's in the pond. Start 1071.
When the chase ended, the driver wasn't celebrating victory, he was in handcuffs. Troopers found his car destroyed, his excuses thin, and his charges stacking high, reckless driving, drag racing, and obstruction. It was a night that showed how one impulsive decision can wreck not just a car, but a future. On a sunny day in Florida, what started as a simple call for a stolen vehicle quickly turned into a scene straight out of an action film. A gray Chevy Equinox was blazing down Interstate 4 at speeds near 100 miles per hour, using the inside shoulder like it was its own personal racetrack. When the Florida Highway Patrol trooper spotted the vehicle, the driver even made eye contact and then kept his foot down. That look said it all. He wasn't stopping for anyone. The reckless driver's attempt to outrun the law put everyone in danger, including a nearby county deputy who narrowly avoided being struck. Thanks to quick thinking and coordination, troopers brought the chase to a controlled end before tragedy struck. The stolen Chevy was recovered and the suspect was taken into custody to face a long list of charges. Another close call on Florida's highways where training timing and teamwork made all the difference. By the night of April 6, 2021, Foresight County deputies had their hands full with a driver who refused to play by the rules. Behind the wheel of a pickup truck was a man weaving southbound on State Route 400, pushing speeds so high, even veteran officers knew this was trouble. Word crackled over the radio the driver might be impaired, and whatever was going on inside that truck was about to spill onto the highway. Georgia State Patrol was called in, and the chase shifted gears.
I'm coming in behind 771.
Extremely 1049.
50 to 50.
When the dust settled, the driver was identified as Jansen Cardell Jones, already wanted for probation violations linked to drug charges. Deputies found drug-related items among the evidence he had thrown out, sealing his fate. With charges piling up, felony fleeing, reckless driving, DUI, drugs, and more, Jones's wild run ended not with freedom, but with handcuffs. Sometimes the most dangerous gamble is thinking you can outrun the state, boys. In the early dawn of April 13, 2021, the Georgia State Patrol spotted a maroon Ford F-150 drifting across lanes on Interstate 16. To most drivers, it looked like a sleepy commuter or maybe a distracted motorist, but to trooper eyes, it screamed stolen. When the blue lights came on, the truck suddenly bolted, flying down the ramp toward Interstate 75 North. That's when the real chase began.
169.
As soon as I get past the exit, I'm going to go.
10-4, clear and stay with it after exit.
The driver, later believed to be a juvenile who escaped from a group home, lost control after a daring PIT maneuver sent the stolen truck spinning off the highway. No one was found inside, but investigators quickly confirmed it had been taken hours earlier from a home in Vidalia. Charges followed for reckless driving, fleeing, speeding over 90 in a 60 zone, and improper lane use. For the troopers involved, it was a reminder that sometimes the ones running aren't hardened criminals, just kids making life-altering mistakes. Maurice A. Gonzalez probably thought a newer model Jeep Wrangler would carry him anywhere he wanted to go. On September 11, 2025, he tried to make good on that belief, roaring eastbound on Interstate 40 with a counterfeit money investigation already hanging over his head. Arkansas troopers stood ready at the state line spike strips in hand, watching the pursuit rocket past before they could act. For Gonzalez, the road ahead seemed wide open, but the reality waiting down the highway was anything but.
You got the Cloverleaf going for TBI. First TBI, successful. Still southbound. Past Cloverleaf. Swerving into the now, trying to stop the TBI. Motor check. Simple. Go over TBI. TBI. 1316, roll over. 10-4, TBI, roll over.
By the end of it all, Gonzalez was treated for minor injuries before being booked into the Crawford County Justice Center. The Jeep was hauled away and searched, revealing meth marijuana and the tools that went with them. His charges piled high, from reckless driving to felony fleeing and drug possession, leaving one lesson carved deep into the asphalt: running only multiplies the damage, and in Arkansas, the house always wins. February 7th, 2022, a Georgia State Patrol trooper spotted a Chevrolet Malibu clocked at 91 miles per hour along Interstate 85. What began as a standard speeding stop quickly unraveled when the driver, later identified as Corey Anna Lewis, handed over false information and refused to come clean. Moments later, with her foot on the brake, she made a sudden decision that would send traffic into chaos. Lewis's attempt to escape ended when troopers disabled her car near Sugarloaf Parkway, bringing the dangerous pursuit to a close. She was transported for medical evaluation before being booked into Gwinnett County Jail. August 26, 2024, an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper attempted a routine stop on a Dodge Durango reported stolen earlier that day, but instead of pulling over, the driver accelerated heading straight for the freeway as more units joined the chase. The suspect, identified as 36-year-old Lorenzo Collins, was taken into custody after attempting to run from the crash site. He was charged with receiving stolen property, failure to comply with police orders, and more. The Ohio State Highway Patrol commended the quick coordination that prevented further injury during the pursuit. By the morning of August 29, 2025, Wisconsin police were already on edge. A statewide homicide alert went out for a stolen Hyundai Santa Fe tied to a murder near Maserati. Hours later, a Marinette officer spotted the SUV, and when the lights flashed, the driver responded with a high-speed run that ripped down U.S. Highway 41.
Guy, drop the knife. Can you talk to us, please? You're supposed to execute me. Just drop the knife, man. Just want to talk. Just want to talk. On the ground. On the ground. Don't move. Don't move. Drop the knife. Put it down now. Drop the knife. Put it down now. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop the knife.
After a rollover crash near Peshtigo, the suspect, later identified as 23-year-old Andrew Lloyd Collimore, staggered out holding a knife. When he advanced toward officers, they opened fire, killing him at the scene. Investigators confirmed he was wanted for homicide, vehicle theft, and resisting. Late on the night of March 22, 2022, a Florence County Sheriff's deputy attempted a traffic stop on a Dodge Ram pickup traveling north on Interstate 95. The driver appeared cooperative at first until the passenger suddenly slid behind the wheel and sped away. Deputies pursued the truck as it exited the interstate at high speed, leading them toward the TV Road interchange. Within moments, the chase took a tragic turn.
You hang out right up here for me, okay?
Can I get my phone?
No, just hang out right up here for me, okay? I heard a marijuana in the car. Got another gentleman up front up here. Go ahead and get him out.
5. Where you at? Northbound. 566.
Central, I got one of my units out on foot with the female at the 166 northbound. Can you get a patrol unit 25 with them?
166 northbound. Okay. Coming up on the 69 then. Roll fire hot. Ready to 1050. 10-4. Where you at?
Ain't nothing you can do, Bubba. No. Ain't nothing you can do. He was a passenger. I had to drive her out. I had her in my car, went through the whole interview process, smelled the weed, told her we were going to search it because of the marijuana. We got her out. Tommy and them pulls up. We go to walking up on the car, and he hops over the console. Tyler tried to tase him, and he put it in gear and took off, and we 10-0 with him, and he tried to snatch it. He said the left. Okay. He found it. I'm good with that, but I hate that happening. Yeah, I mean, nobody don't want that to happen. But, yeah. I mean, he did it on his own, but it was like no reason for him to do that at all, none. You can't. He could have pulled over, got out and ran, doing whatever he wanted to do. It's like he snatched off right there. He was like trying to kill himself. Yeah, and that's the only way you can explain what he did. Yeah. I mean, what he did. There's no reasonable explanation to why you would do that unless you're just trying to hurt yourself. Yep.
The fleeing driver lost control and collided with the rear of a tractor trailer at the exit ramp, resulting in a fatal crash. No deputies were injured, and there was no contact between law enforcement vehicles and the suspect's truck. The South Carolina Highway Patrol's multidisciplinary accident investigation team later took over the case. Pending identification of the deceased driver, investigators noted potential charges would have included reckless driving, failure to stop for blue lights, and endangering the public. In the early dawn of April 13, 2021, the Georgia State Patrol spotted a maroon Ford F-150 drifting across lanes on Interstate 16. To most drivers, it looked like a sleepy commuter or maybe a distracted motorist, but to trooper eyes, it screamed stolen. When the blue lights came on, the truck suddenly bolted flying down the ramp toward Interstate 75 North. That's when the real chase began.
169.
As soon as I get past the exit, I'm going to go.
10-4. Clear and stay set after exit.
The driver, later believed to be a juvenile who escaped from a group home, lost control after a daring PIT maneuver sent the stolen truck spinning off the highway. No one was found inside, but investigators quickly confirmed it had been taken hours earlier from a home in Vidalia. Charges followed for reckless driving, fleeing, speeding over 90 in a 60 zone, and improper lane use. For the troopers involved, it was a reminder that sometimes the ones running aren't hardened criminals, just kids making life-altering mistakes. On February 1st, 2025, Atlanta police units spotted a car linked to an armed robbery in Hapeville. Officers located it near Dodson Drive, where the driver briefly stopped before speeding away, forcing the Auto Crimes Enforcement Unit to engage in pursuit through southwest Atlanta.
Radio standby.
You went left on Dodson? 2619 Dodson. 2619 Dodson.
Alright, we're southbound, stand by for a second.
We're still southbound. We're going to be in front of the Georgia International Convention Center. Show on main. 16 alcohol. 16 alcohol. Show on main.
From the convention center on Main.
16 alcohol. 16 alcohol.
From the convention center on Main.
16 alcohol. 16 alcohol. What? Stand by.
Do not rush it. Get on the ground! Get on the ground right now! I got driver! I got
Where you got him? Hey, get the out! Get the out!
I got driver! I got driver!
How old are you? 30? 34? You 34?
Yes.
Okay.
Out here running from the police at 34 years old.
June 20th, 2025, long after midnight, a bronze Jeep Liberty tore down a Florida highway well above the speed limit. Behind the wheel was Manuel Jose Miguel, a driver clearly not interested in pulling over for anyone. What started as a simple traffic stop quickly turned into a chaotic pursuit through dark neighborhood streets. And before long, the chase led troopers straight to Miguel's own driveway, where things only got more out of control.
We're gonna go on tight right now. Going back to the phone.
By the time backup arrived, Miguel had been tased, twice wrestled to the ground, and was still insisting he hadn't been behind the wheel. The smell of alcohol and the open beer cans inside the Jeep told a different story. Once booked officers discovered he also had 2 active warrants waiting for him, a late-night string of bad choices that ended exactly where every reckless run does in handcuffs. Just after midnight on July the 1st, 2022, a Florida trooper observed a blue Maserati swerving within its lane while speeding through Pinellas County. The sports car's signal lights flickered pointlessly as the driver ignored every sign to slow down.
Let me see your hands! Left hand, open the door! With your left hand, open the door!
Several units, 1046, try for the 008.
Left hand, open the door! Let me see your hands, passenger! Both hands!
1592.
Both hands! That's put the car and drive. Back, let me see your hands.
1392, were you able to fit? 10-4, send 10-490 ABL 1018. Mountain up to drive right off of US 19, east of US 19.
Once stopped, the driver, identified as Devin Requeno, showed clear signs of impairment and refused sobriety testing. He was charged with reckless driving, fleeing to elude, and refusal to submit to a chemical test. On the night of July 19, 2023, a state trooper noticed a vehicle speeding through the Bobby Hopper Tunnel on Interstate 49, its driver behaving erratically. The car weaved across lanes and passed the trooper at high speed before vanishing into the dark stretch ahead.
First stop.
Put your hands up now. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Get out. Get out. You got lethal? Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Oh, man, get on the ground, motherfucker.
After the situation came to an end, troopers discovered the driver, identified as Mr. McCool, was heavily intoxicated and combative. He was eventually restrained after a prolonged struggle and found with marijuana, a grinder, and an open beer inside the vehicle. McCool was charged with driving while intoxicated, fleeing, and possession of drug paraphernalia, among other violations. Some people just cannot resist pressing their luck. On July 16, 2024, James Lee Mason did exactly that in a beat-up Chevrolet Impala, making erratic lane changes like the rules of the road didn't apply to him. A deputy moved in for a simple stop, but Mason had other plans. Instead of easing off the gas, he buried his foot into it, trading common sense for chaos.
Hey, watch out. Let me get him again. Watch out.
Mason was arrested on the spot, charged with everything from reckless driving to fleeing and eluding. His passenger walked free, but the wrecked car was hauled away as a reminder of how quickly things spiral out of control. For Mason, the shortcut he thought would buy him freedom only guaranteed his trip to jail. February 27, 2023 in Polk County, Florida, a stolen vehicle ripped through the lanes with zero regard for safety weaving, like the highway belonged to him. Once the dust settled, the suspect was dragged out and arrested, his joyride officially over. Along with reckless driving, he now faced charges for fleeing police, resisting without violence, and possessing stolen property. For all the chaos he caused, it ended like it always does, with troopers standing tall and one more reckless driver out of luck. June 1st, 2023, Florida Highway Patrol troopers along the Turnpike found themselves tracking a gray Ford Taurus flying northbound through Palm Beach County. The chase came to a devastating end when the Taurus collided with a semi-truck and multiple other vehicles, leaving wreckage scattered across the highway. The driver, later identified as James Jerry Don Williams, was taken into custody and charged with fleeing and eluding, reckless driving, marijuana possession, and more. The Florida Highway Patrol's quick coordination likely prevented further tragedy that night. On August 23, 2025, around 8:20 p.m., a deputy exiting Interstate 285 at Riverdale Road noticed a motorcycle with no license tag. When the deputy attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the rider accelerated toward College Park at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, weaving recklessly through traffic.
No tag. Speeds 90 miles per hour.
This unit, photo traffic, this unit, photo traffic. Last unit, revise your unit number and location.
Like on 4. We are now on Godby Road. We'll be westbound going towards Old Nat.
You have an update.
Gotcha.
Top 5. Identify South Fulton and College Park as well.
Trackstar, you have an update.
We'll be Old National northbound, post number 285.
It's Old National Park, 285.
In eastern Arkansas, a trooper on US 64 spotted a speeding car exceeding 100 miles per hour on a quiet stretch of highway. When the blue lights came on, the driver appeared to slow, then bolted.
It's a Florida tag. We'll see if I get a chance. I'm on TV. He's driving crazy. He just brake checked, man. I rear-ended him, but we're still going. All right, he just crashed into me. We're coming up to the desk.
Strangers up ahead, watch out. Yeah, 4.
115 coming up to the Lanka River Basin.
115 coming to Lanka River Basin. Still westbound, speed approximately 130 miles an hour. There's a Woodruff County deputy set up spot on Highway 64 at Timmy Miller shop. Still westbound, speed approximately 130 miles an hour.
TBI.
TBI.
Force red.
Somebody got cuffs! Grab cuffs! I've got it!
The driver, identified as Adam Walker from Florida, was eventually captured after a tense pursuit through Cross County. He faces a long list of charges including felony fleeing, aggravated assault against a first responder, resisting arrest, and reckless driving. Authorities say his decisions placed countless people at risk that night. In Durham County, UK, a 550-horsepower Bentley Continental GT thundered through the narrow street on May 23, 2021. Behind the wheel was Richard Bowser, a man already wanted for assault and now fueled by cocaine and overconfidence. The sleek luxury car became a blur of metal and noise as Bowser swerved recklessly past oncoming traffic. Officers quickly realized this was no routine pursuit. It was a race between power and peril.
Thank you. Heading in the general direction of Willington still on the back road. Speeds up to 90 miles an hour. I'm going to go medium risks into the 30s. I'm going to stay at medium risk for the 30s, just he's on the wrong side of the bend. Approaching the T-junction, stand by. It's left, left, left towards Willington, down to low risk. Medium risk for the overtake oncoming vehicle, back down to low risk, up to medium risk for near side pedestrians, offside pedestrians, back down to low risk into the heading out of Willington. Yes, go ahead, Elliot. Sorry, mate.
Crash.
Yeah, Elliot, to crash with one of our traffic cars. It's going to be a decamp here, Elliot, I think.
He's doing something. Tell him where we are.
Yeah, he's gone left into the industrial estate. He's got substantial damage to his vehicle. He's struggling to keep control of it. Approaching the roundabout, he's right down on his speed now, Elliot, to 30 miles an hour. He's got substantial damage. He's gone right into the industrial estate. This is going to be a decamp, Elliot. Can we start getting units here?
Bowser's run eventually came to an end after a devastating collision that left both vehicles wrecked and officers stunned. He was still conscious, arrested at the scene. He failed both alcohol and drug tests before being charged with dangerous driving, drink driving, and drug driving. The court handed him an 18-month prison sentence and a 45-month driving ban. For a man who believed horsepower made him untouchable, the crash proved that no amount of speed can outrun responsibility. On March 21, 2022, New Mexico officers were alerted that an inmate had stolen a prisoner transport van from a deputy who suffered a medical emergency. Inside the van were 2 other prisoners helpless as the thief sped away down Interstate 40.
Call the exit, Joe.
Negative 10-4 for 504 negative.
I got a sheriff trying to slow him down.
Finding 2, you have
This is ours, bro.
Back up to the units behind the pursuit. We're going to slow down traffic. Almost crashing.
I got sheriffs that's in front of me. He's taking over the pursuit. I think I'll be able to pass him now.
Coming up on the 117.
617 vehicle stop. Vehicle stop.
No traffic, trying about 100 miles per hour. Just came out. 552 Syncom just went off a dirt road. Imagine between the 104 and 103. Now we're headed northbound on it's not even a dirt road. KX-79 Syncom, heading into Cabero onto State Road 124 near the 15-mile marker. Headed back to I-40. If you could call people at county, it looks like they're there. It looks like they made a stop now. We're at milepost 15, unknown road this road. They are stopped.
Please advise, will tell you when to make the stop at milepost 15, milepost 15.
Crossfire! Crossfire! Get over here!
Open the door! Open the door!
No, I don't. Get out!
After a multi-agency pursuit across Bernalillo and Cibola counties, officers caught up with the suspect later identified as Josh Hall. The chase ended off-road after Hall tore through fences and rough desert terrain. All 3 prisoners were recovered safely and Hall was booked for vehicle theft, fleeing law enforcement, and numerous related charges.